following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Man, oh man, the curse of Beggsy, it lives on.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Man, oh man, it's not hard to confuse me, Kyle, but I'm a little confused about this one, I gotta say. I'm Trevor Beggs, that guy's Kyle Bhawan. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Locked On Canucks. And man, oh man, Kyle, this was a guy that he showed up on the Goats of the Week a couple times this season, maybe not so much for the points, but just holding things down, actually looking like a third line center. And now all of a sudden, Aatu Raty is going to sit as a healthy scratch in favor for guys like Lukas, Reichel, and Arshdeep Bains. Kyle, what the heck happened here, man?
You tell me. Aatu Raty. Again, in my opinion, not the perfect player. I say that a lot about the players on this team and look at their record, okay? Not the perfect player. Not somebody, if you're winning a Stanley Cup right now, you need in your lineup based on how he's playing, but somebody who's young enough on a team that's wanting to get younger, who needs more opportunity, in my opinion, for real. And on top of that, he wins faceoffs. Now, I don't know how he's done recently in the dot. I'm sure that probably has something to do with it too. Like, I assume that he's not even doing that successfully, and that's why Adam Foote is now making him a healthy scratch. Or Trevor, touch on this a bit before you go into the data behind Aatu Raty's demotion for Lukas Reichel. But is Adam Foote, Jim Rutherford, and Patrick Elving pulling the plug on the season by healthy scratch? Is this a tank move?
I mean, yeah, maybe it's a sneaky tank move. No, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I don't think it makes the Canucks worse in the short term, but I also think they want to give Lukas Reichel another shot, right? Like, I know they talked about trading this guy, or at least that was in reports about a week ago, but you're not getting anything for Lukas Reichel. I'm not even sure if he gets claimed if he goes on waivers, right?
But they also admitted that they should try Lukas Reichel on the wing. And maybe we're overreacting. Like, maybe tomorrow, like, they're both playing and Bains is out of the lineup, because I know Bains got an assist yesterday, but he played 4 minutes. So this team's weak down the middle. You're taking the guy, again, Trevor's about to slap me in the face with his good face-off stats. You're taking that guy out of the lineup, and you're doing it for Lukas Reichel. I just, against the LA Kings, a bit bigger team. I don't know. And again, based on the data you're about to spew out and the X's and O's and all that jazz, again, I just feel like it's important for the Vancouver Canucks to develop Raty. I put him probably at, like, the way they're doing it with Tom Alada, like, play this guy 10 minutes a game, minimum at least. And we're weak down the middle. He has some pedigree, and hasn't been horrible, like, far from it. So yeah, Trevor, just take it away. Tell us why Aatu Raty shouldn't be a scratch, but is.
Yeah, look, I think he's been punished for mistakes for the past couple of games, right? I mean, looking at the game log here, like, he's been on the ice for an even strength goal in 3 of the last 4 games now. Part of that isn't necessarily his fault. I know with the Calgary goal, he was kind of wandering around in the slot when one goal went in, like, probably could have had the puck there. It is little things in his game. But you've seen Foote drop his ice time, right? It has nothing to do with the faceoffs. I mean, Kyle, he was 10 for 11 against the Calgary Flames, 4 or 5 last night, but that was the first time in a while that he actually finished with more losses than wins in the faceoff dot. I think this is about a guy who, he's played almost every game this season, right? And I think, again, as much as he's been a good fit as a third line center, like, there hasn't been much of a bottom line offensively. We're talking 1 goal, 6 points in 22 games. I think they want to just sit him down and have him see it from the press box for a little bit, much like they did with DPD earlier on the season as well. Now, didn't make much of a difference in DPD's game, but it's something that is at a coach's disposal to try out. And I do think it has something to do with the fact that when more bodies come back into the lineup, a guy like Lukas Reichel is probably not on this team, right? Like, whether you do trade him and just say, oh, this didn't work out, see you later. We didn't want that 4th round pick anyways. I think it's more of a last chance for Lukas Reichel because, again, Aatu Raty has been on the ice for more goals against the past few games. Maybe he's been caught wandering or puck watching a little bit on some of those goals. I don't see anything egregious in his game, though, Kyle. and
Give
he's
us the
clearly a
lineup.
better player than Lukas Reichel. And you're talking about a Canucks team that, you know, is one of the worst face-off teams in the NHL. You take out your best face-off man now. I think part of it now too is the fact that they have David Kampf in the lineup. It's like, okay, at least we got another guy who could win draws. At least we got David Kampf, man, the Canucks savior. Man, oh man.
I feel like Aatu should take priority over David Kampf already. Just again, look at what we're trying to get younger. You signal to the fan base that that's what you're trying to do, and I would just prioritize Aatu Raty over Lukas Reichel, which again they've already proven, but to the point where it's like you're weak down the middle. This guy's won 15 of his last 17 draws, if my math is correct, or 14 of his last 16, my bad. And yeah, just taking out of the lineup. It just like, I don't know, just a little bit confusing. But all in all, though, again, these are, I'm not going to say like the talks we must have, but these are situations that do arise from a team that is ultimately struggling, right? Like at the end of the day, like, yesterday's win wasn't a perfect game. You know, you see coaches all the time never mess with a winning lineup. It seems like they're doing that here. Hence why we're a little confused. And also it's because it's Raty for Reichel. But all in all, these moments are going to happen. And you mentioned something like I've been talking a lot of, you know what, to Adam Foote for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm patient with them, but at the same time, I don't got a foot fetish. Okay. And you talked about how maybe this is a strategy that he's using for more long-term success. And that's, you know, giving Aatu Raty a chance to see the game from above, which is, like, I say that full sentence long, and I'm like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? But hey, if it works, Adam Foote needs more of these. He needs more of his decisions to work. And, you know, one decision that we didn't talk a lot about yesterday, and it does connect with this, Trevor, is the fact that late in the game, they move Sasan up with Kiefer Sherwood and Drew O'Connor just for that face-off. Well, that's when it started. And Sasan gets a goal. And, you know, I want Sasan up the lineup too. Like, Sasan and Raty, to me, this may sound crazy to you, but I kind of feel them. I see them as like not the same, but same tier of prospect on this team, in my opinion. Just I'm a big Sasan guy, and seeing him get the promotion is going to be interesting. We're going to see more of that tomorrow with Raty's absence. And again, kudos for Foote for making that decision. It worked. It worked, and now we get to see it more.
Yeah, I mean, look, Sasan's been more impressive than Raty. I mean, let's be frank about it, right? I mean, there's been more of a bottom line offensively. I don't think he's done as well when he's played up the lineup, especially when they were trying him at second line center for a couple of games. But, you know, in a bottom six role and a shelter role, he's been really good, right? And again, there's been some production there offensively, which hasn't really been there for Raty. Like, his one goal came in garbage time during that loss to the Blackhawks, of one of the many losses I've seen at Rogers Arena so far this season. So, I in a sense, I'm a little confused about Raty because, again, there was a bottom line offensively last year, right, Kyle? The guy had 7 goals and 11 points in 33 games, and he was getting that shot off more. I mean, this guy could shoot the puck, but you know, he had the off season where he couldn't train properly. Stop me where you've heard that before. And the speed has been an issue in training camp. And look, the guy works his ass off. He can win draws. I think he's pretty good defensively, but there's just not much offensively happening with Aatu Raty. And I just look at it more so as, not that he deserves to be taken out of the lineup, but it's not like he's some major difference maker on this team. And for Lukas Reichel, I think it's more of a last chance for him to show his stuff against a Sharks team that, even though they're better than years past, like, if Lukas Reichel isn't going to get it done against the San Jose Sharks, he's probably not getting it done against anybody. Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of all of the above and then some, and again, me not having a foot fetish, like, what are your thoughts on, and I can't understand, I'm not judging, I just, like, I don't know if my girlfriend has ugly feet or good looking feet. I don't know. If she's listening to this, I don't know if she's pissed off at me for saying that, but you know what I'm trying to say? I just don't get the whole foot thing. And I also don't get the whole Adam Foote thing too. Like, it's a lot of this is not making sense. And yesterday, the Canucks want to get younger. That's like what they're telling the fan base, right? That's like the thing that they're trying to do. And yesterday they played a game against a young team, and Adam Foote played Raty, Bains, Sasan, and Linus Karlsson. Correct me if I'm wrong, all under 8 minutes. Like, maybe Sasan played a little bit more, but that's 4 of your 12 forwards that you're deciding to play less than 8-9 minutes. I'm pretty sure I heard that right when on the radio last night. And I'm like, yo, what? The messaging is confusing from the team because it's like, okay, you're not even playing the young guys. You're trying to brag about these guys, in your pieces. Oh, look at the AHL players and all this stuff. And then your coach is like, doing that in favor of Evander Kane, getting him up to like 16 minutes, 17 minutes. It's like, I hate to say this, but until proven wrong, and Adam Foote is a questionable head coach. He truly is. He truly is.
Yeah, one of the interesting things I found about last night is after losses, he is so hesitant to criticize this team, right? Like, oh, we played well and we dominated, and there's injuries or there's fatigue. Then after the loss last night, he's like, well, we made some mistakes and we got into the run and gun game. Like, he was actually critical of his team last night. There's injuries. One of their only wins of the year. I was like, what the heck's going on here, man? So I found that fascinating about Adam Foote. But let us know in the comments, what are your thoughts on the Canucks sitting Aatu Raty? And is this Lukas Reichel's last chance? Reichel's last stand. That's what they say in Germany. Kyle, on the other side, I do want to talk about a man of the people, some news and notes, including another Quinn Hughes, Ian McIntyre sit down. And I also want to go what the puck about other things going on in the NHL. Something piqued my interest towards the end of the day here today that I want to run by you. That's all coming up here on Locked On Canucks. Kyle, man, oh man, I actually didn't see the final score today. I was in work mode, but I did see that the Green Bay Packers were kicking some ass against the Detroit Lions, man. How did that one end?
31-24 for the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love, 4 touchdowns. Jordan Love, quote unquote, from a lot of people's eyes, is an average quarterback. To me, he's a third-year starter who knows how to win games and has thrown 19 touchdowns this year with 3 interceptions. And it's like, okay, maybe people don't think he's the best quarterback because you're always comparing him to other guys in green and gold, and that's Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. But I'm telling you, he's a third-year starter, and I'm impressed. And one day with him and Micah Parsons, we're going to win a Super Bowl. Speaking of which, Micah Parsons, the first player in NFL history to have over 12 or more sacks in the first 5 years of his career. The first player in NFL history. So I'm going to be a Super Bowl champion, and it may happen this year. And because so, I might take out your Seahawks, and we may never be friends again.
I can't wait for it, man. Seahawks and Green Bay coming up in January. Look for that one. Seahawks are still ahead of Green Bay in the FanDuel Super Bowl odds, baby. So if you want to hop on either one of those teams, go check it out on FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $300 in bonus bets when their first $5 bet wins. So check it out on FanDuel.com and download the FanDuel app today.
Shout out to FanDuel. Okay, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks, Beggsy, Bhawan, Beggsy, a.k.a. again, Trevor, being the second best dad in the world. You have the best backdrop in the world. If you're watching this on YouTube, A, hit the like button, and B, again, just appreciate your family's so talented, man. You're a media guy now. Your family, everyone in your family are artists. Like, how'd you get so lucky, man? How'd you get so lucky in this thing called life, Trevor? It's Thursday. It feels like a Friday. Just talk nicely about yourself, brother.
I'm blessed, man. I really am. And shout out to the television. I'm solo parenting right now. Wife's not in town, so shout out to Wildcrats for keeping my kids entertained during this episode of Locked On Canucks, baby.
I think television is better than an iPad, though. Anyways, comments. Cito saying Lukas Reichel over Evander Kane. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Okay, as much as we've been ragging on Kane, at least Kane's been forechecking and knows how to get the puck to the net. Reichel, aside from his first few games, hasn't been doing any of that. But I mean, they're both probably on par defensively.
Evander Kane is not forechecking; he's no checking, bro. This guy doesn't lay the body at all.
Compared to Lukas Reichel, yeah, but it's a low bar.
Yeah, it's a low bar. And then KG saying, or Greener saying, to suck on this team is something special. Maybe he's alluding to like Aatu Raty being a healthy scratch. Like if you're a healthy scratch on the Vancouver Canucks, you're obviously not doing something right. And again, just I'm on the. I don't know what the truth is. It's either like he's got to get better, or Adam Foote is just questionable. Like straight up, like if people had a foot fetish going into this Canucks season, based on what we've seen coaching and execution wise on the Canucks, they probably lost that fetish. Anyways, less fetish talk. Let's talk about the people. Trevor. What I see on today's show, you say man of the people. Is this about Ian McIntyre talking about Quinn Hughes, or you got something else on the docket?
It was more about if he is actually a man of the people, but Michael Buble, the most famous Canucks fan. Is he the most famous Canucks fan? Like I'm not sure if any of the fan, like Ryan Reynolds maybe. But anyways, I mean Michael Buble, he turned down our request to the show. He only wanted to go on Donnie and Dolly, but can't blame him on that front. Donnie and Dolly, they're good guys, and a lot of interesting things came out of that today. And I found like one of the big standouts for me, and maybe this is now being, in the media for lack of a better term. Obviously, the Frank Star Valley Troop was hilarious, but I found it interesting that Buble doesn't want to criticize the team, doesn't want to criticize management, thinks we have a great management team. We're going to win the Stanley Cup because of Alexei Medvedev, but it's the media's fault. He's talked about how like the media, like they want the Canucks to lose, and they're just here to sell their headlines and all this stuff. And I mean, Kyle, I'm looking at the views on this show. I look at the views on Daily Hive. Losing doesn't do better things for us, right? It really doesn't. So I feel like that was a bit misguided, but I was kind of curious about like if you listened to it, what your thoughts were, and like what maybe one of your main takeaways was for the most famous Canucks fan spewing his thoughts and emotions about the team.
But how about that lady from How I Met Your Mother, man? She's probably more popular than Michael Buble. No, that was a great show.
It was a great show. Yeah, except you don't know her name, so that probably says she's not more famous. Colby Smulders, man. Come on. There we go.
That's why you're a dad and I'm not. Okay, I'm not ready. Again, Michael Buble, a couple days ago. Again, I'm working out of the Don't Doze Art Lab. We're making a ton of music out of here. And a couple days ago, what did I say? We in the music industry, what did I say about Michael Buble? I said, yo, shut up and sing. Okay? So I already bullied him a bit. And it's not that I want to apologize for that, but this time around, based on what I heard today on Donnie and Dolly, as Trevor alluded to, the greatest podcast in Canadian history, I got no problem with it. I don't care about like his fandom, his optimism. Like, yo, that's whatever. I can't poo-poo on him twice in a week for like cheering for the Canucks that way. I mean, you can make the ties to like management and ownership and whatnot. And like, I need to Google that stuff first. Maybe he's having dinner at Elisa. Maybe he has like a 15% off membership at Elisa or something. I don't know. But to blame the media at all for like being, I don't know if he was blaming the negative media, but he kind of alluded to, again, the media wanting the Canucks to lose if they like this or whatever. And I'm just like, I think he's feeling like he's too much part of that team. Again, I'm not trying to judge how he is as a Canucks fan, but something gives me the energy that he thinks he's on the team. So like, it hurts him a little more. And it is what it is, man. It's a different human experience for all of us, right, Trevor? Name me seven Michael Buble songs.
I just haven't met you yet. That's about all. And then there's all the Christmas ones, man. Like he's got his jingle bells in there, right? Okay,
Trevor, you actually hit something. You hit something on the head. Like if you're ever in press row and you actually run into Michael Buble, remember how you said you kind of touched on. You made a joke about how the Canucks haven't met the Stanley Cup yet, and you sang the song, right? Like let's say the Canucks are entering like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and like CBC does that like montage before the game, the hype up. Like that's got to be the song. Just haven't met you yet. Warm up. What? Why are you laughing?
That's one of the least hype songs I could ever think of, but it does suit it in a sense.
You know what song I do want to listen to the day after the Canucks won the Stanley Cup? Like I want to be at the parade, or just no. You know what? I want to be outside on the streets the minute the Canucks won the Stanley Cup. I want to be with the people and I want to start hugging people. You know what song's going to be playing in my head, but also in the background because I'm going to be I'll carry a Bluetooth speaker with me. It's that song that goes, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but that song is beautiful. And I just picture, again, us winning the cup. And you know what? Maybe me, Tyler Myers, and Michael Buble, and Adam Foote, and Evander Kane we'll all hug, okay? In that instance, that's the goal.
There you go, man. I mean, look, it's there's so many songs you can play after the cup win, but this is just the one that comes to my head, man. Let's go. Oh yeah, I'm rocking that one, man. No one's gonna know what's coming, man. Kyle, you keep going at it. Look, Kyle, let's cut to break here. On this side, I do want to talk about Quinn Hughes' most recent comments on the team, the trade speculation, what it means, and I also want to talk about. Let's go around the NHL with one story on What the Puck. That's all coming up next here on Locked On Canucks. Before we get back to the show, let's shout out our friends over at Monarch Money, baby. You know the deal. It's tough to keep track of everything, man. I can barely wipe my own ass sometimes. Never mind name accounts like RSPs, TFSAs. It's easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table. That's why I started using Monarch. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch, not only has it helped me be better with my money, but it's helped me be better in the sack too, baby. Because I now on Monarch, I can combine my accounts with my wives. There's less stress, and that means more love making.
Your wives? Did you just say you can combine
wives? Ooh, oh, no. That's a that's
okay.
Whoa. Okay, don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off of your first year, baby.
Okay, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks, and reading your comments. Matt Friesen saying Buble is a performer but needs to shut up. Wow, dude. Wow, I don't think this guy likes jazz or bubblies. You know what, Trevor? I will say this about Michael Buble. He put me onto bubblies, Michael Bubblies, and carbonated water did its max, man. When you get to 32 years old, all the kids are saying, oh yeah, you start wearing quarter zips like I am right now, which I have on right now, but Tupac's underneath the quarter zip because, come on, man, you start drinking soda water too, Trevor, and there's something about the first sip of soda water, man. It just gets me like it gets my toes. You know when your toes start curling up right when you're about to, no. It just feels good, Trevor. It feels good. It feels good to take the first sip of a bubbly. Okay, so shout out to Michael Buble.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Bublé, man. And shout out to Quinn Hughes and Ian McIntyre, man. The lone wolf now traveling on the road with the Vancouver Canucks. You know what? He's doing the work down there, right? He asked Kiefer Sherwood kind of point blank with the trade speculation, and I thought Kiefer Sherwood, Kiefer the Reefer, handled it with grace. I hate where the Canucks are because you don't want to lose a guy like Kiefer Sherwood. And I said it about a month ago, Kyle. Like, you got to re-sign this guy, but the only time you don't re-sign this guy is if you're truly out of the race and moving on. But Kiefer Sherwood handled the questions with grace, talked about loving it, the group. I think he said, quote, I guess it's just part of the gig. You got to be professional and you have a job to go play. You have to try to have a good mindset through it all. And Quinn Hughes talked again about, his respect for Jim Rutherford, winning hockey games as well. Kind of talking about how his defensive game, he thinks has been better of late. He's out there creating scoring chances. Quinn Hughes of late, man, I think he's doing it all for this team, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so torn about like the rebuild, tear it down, like let's get some pain thing, because I don't want to lose Quinn Hughes, man. I really don't.
Well, Trevor, you actually, again, when I was in the shower, I was thinking about you, thinking about what you said a couple days. No, you said this yesterday. You said, well, when I asked about how Canucks fans should approach like the next couple week of games or like just the season, moving forward, because there's been so much talk of like retool, rebuild, remain, whatever. Again, Rutherford's like white flag article that just came out a couple days ago and whatnot. Like it just already felt doom and gloom, tankathon-ish. And I asked you, like, how do Canucks fans like watch the next couple weeks of games? And like some people already are already cheering for losses. And I'm not hating on that. I'm not, because I've been wanting high draft picks too. And I'm already on that wagon, right? I'm actually flying out to Niagara to watch the Ice Dogs play the Rimouski Oceanic, so okay. Well, just do some scouting. I want to know who we're going to pick. Where am I going with this? I get it. You want top draft picks. I want top draft picks too. But yesterday when I was at the gym, there was not a centimeter of me that wanted that team to lose the game. It's too early. It's too early. And when I asked if that made me feel like a hypocrite, you kind of touched on like, nah, because it's game 24 and we still have Quinn Hughes on this team. And like, he's the sole reason why you should still be wanting this team to like prove you wrong in November and December and January. Like, pick up the points, pick up the dubs. Because if he stays, it's like getting the number 1 overall pick. It is.
Yeah, in a sense too. And look, man, you can't blame the fan base for feeling conflicted on this, and that is reflected in the comments, baby. Look at this one, man. This one's coming from Hughes Hockey 604. The dude with Quinn Hughes in his handle saying, "I know everyone wants Quinn to stay, but I think it jumps the retool too much not to trade him. I love him, but I think him and the team understand he needs to go before the trade deadline." I mean, certainly Hughes Hockey 604. If the Canucks are 27th or 28th overall in the NHL, I think it's more or less a foregone conclusion. I know Kyle's talking about like maybe there's a chance we just tank, we get that top draft pick. But I've said it going back to the summer that the most value you're going to get for this guy is at the trade deadline. But Kyle, like you said, it's November. I'm not rooting for that yet. You know what I'd rather do instead is I'd rather go make fun of the Edmonton Oilers. So let's do that in this segment called What the Puck.
I thought this was a Canucks show.
I thought this was a Canucks show.
Ito, this was a Canucks show.
Man, I don't know if I'm thinking about Stuart Skinner just because of my mustache, man. It's certainly not Stuart Skinner-esque. But Kyle, I don't know if you heard about this earlier today. Jim Matheson, the dude who called Leon Draisaitl pissy, has certainly drawn the ire of other Oilers fans for asking the tough questions. And in fairness, often those tough questions, as awkward as they can be, can get a good response. But he basically asked Skinner today if it bothered him or it made him mad that Edmonton Oilers fans are saying that they don't want this guy. What are your thoughts on asking a question? I got to give Stuart Skinner credit for the losing, for the fact that he's probably not an NHL caliber starting goaltender. He stood in there and answered the questions with grace. But man, oh man, like there's the cringe level is about an 8.5 out of 10 when you hear a reporter saying, fans really don't want you here. Like, does that hurt? Does that hurt that fans don't want you here? Like, I don't know, man. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Are you cringing because it's like an emotional question with an obvious answer? And do we need to know Skinner's thoughts on the obvious? Like, what? I just want to ask, like, why are you cringing? Because I got opinions.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that he phrased it that way. Like, there are ways to ask a question that aren't as pointed as, "Oh, fans say that they don't want you." Like, does that hurt to hear that? Like, you could kind of phrase it in a way that's more like, maybe the game hasn't gone your way. Like, what are your thoughts on your play? Like, that's kind of how he started, and then he went to it, and then he went back to it again a couple questions later. Like, I don't know what Edmonton Oilers media is doing, but they just let Jimmy Matheson ask like 4 or 5 straight questions, and he asked him once about like, does it hurt that fans don't want you? And then he went back to it again and asked like, there's fans chanting your name saying like they don't want you. Like, I'm like, you already asked this question, dude. Like, why are you doubling down here?
Yeah, this guy's working. This guy's working for the algorithm, man. This guy's working for Mark Zuckerberg, man.
Dude, I don't know if Jim Matheson knows what the algorithm is, to be honest with you. He's been in this game for 40 plus years.
He's doing him, and just, I don't know, man. Stuart Skinner, I'm not going to say I feel for him because, I talk a lot of shit about him. And maybe I should, but I'm not a man. I'm a fan. That's just the way it is. I'm working on that. But a part of me also feels like, and it's not about the making of the millions, okay? It's not about, these guys have an easy job and like it's the least they should do. But being transparent with the fans, I don't know. It's part of this whole. It's part of like this whole relationship or like this whole experience. Like I don't like to just call it entertainment because it's sports and there's a game going on. But the fans matter so much, not because they got to know everything, but to me that was an opportunity for Stuart Skinner to like. Again, it's a hard question to be asked, especially when you're struggling, and you don't want to make too many false promises if you're that guy. Because he did say, I think he said he's trying. Am I paraphrasing? He thought he was better than Martin Brodeur. No, he wanted to actually start for Team Canada during the Olympics. Like that's what he said.
He said at the beginning of the season, his goals were to win the Stanley Cup and play on Canada's Olympic team.
So he's already like talked himself too highly already and like put in the expectation. I think that's a problem with him. He's got to settle down, stay in the middle, but. That would have been an opportunity for him. And I say this about Elias Pettersson too a lot last year. And even after losses this year, even with Quinn Hughes, like strike some hope in the hearts of the fans watching you, like either pat them on the back, understand them, and just let them know, like my number one goal is that, have my back or deserve their support moving forward. Like that's what I'm focused on. Just because it's hard watching. You look how much I talk about Tyler Myers. It's like it's emotional watching sports sometimes, and when a guy is so costly or detrimental, I know it's a team sport and blah blah blah, but nah, like for real, there's some bad players on teams that just cause them to lose games. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Okay, what's that term about the sour apple and the bag of grapes, or the sour apple and the group project, or you're only as good as your weakest link or whatever? Something. Anyways,
you're only as sour as a bunch of moldy grapes. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Saying,
That's a good question.
It is a team sport, and everyone has a part to play in a win and a loss. But there's some individuals who are who carry the burden of the loss heavier, not because we're being dramatic, but because you're one of the worst players on your team, and you're actually when 40 people come to play this ice hockey game, 2 goalies, a bunch of skaters, amongst those 2 teams, you're the worst player on the ice. And you play 60 minutes a game, right? Tyler Myers plays 20 minutes a game almost. Stuart Skinner plays 60 minutes. Like, if you're the worst player and you're playing that much, you might cause your team to lose. That's just the way it is. Trevor, you're bullying too. Trevor, leave Stuart Skinner alone. Okay? Can we just?
I complimented him. I thought he handled the questions with a lot of grace. I thought the questions. Look, I believe in asking the hard questions. Like, even when I've been in that room, I've tried to ask not questions that are as blatantly like in your face like that, but asking Adam Foote about Evander Kane's ice time, like asking him about the fact that, like, why do you keep blowing these third period leads? Like, I do believe you got to ask the tough questions, whether you get a good answer or not. But sometimes, like, even that one, I'm like, ooh, that one hurt, man. But again, he handled it with grace. Kudos to him. That's the only kudos I'm giving to the Edmonton Oilers, because if you seeing us on YouTube, we're visibly not fans of the Edmonton Oilers.
You know why it hurts you? And again, like, when I watch it and I see his face and stuff, I feel it a little too. I think it's just because, like, we're empathetic people from Surrey, right? We care about humans.
Yeah, that's the Surrey coming out of us. Exactly. That's what people think when they think of Surrey.
Yeah, sometimes I can be a bully and stuff like that, but you can see it on his face like that. That hurt a little, and he's carrying a lot of weight. But one thing, I was about to say something, but this is not an Oilers show, okay? Last comment. Cethos is saying, if the Canucks make it to the finals, I'll drive down for game 1 and stealth camp for the whole series. Cheer for the team in the streets with all the unwashed masses. AKA, you're just gonna, just be on the streets, camp out on the sidewalks, all that stuff. It's smart. You're gonna save a lot of money. And Vancouver, there is like a hospitality problem, like not enough hotels for events. They're talking about the FIFA World Cup. Hey, the Stanley Cup Finals would be something similar. But I actually believe Cethos. I think, but that's something that I would do. I would consider. If I had the money, I would actually just Airbnb downtown for like the whole 2 weeks. But that'd be sick. Last comment though, real last comment. Dan Jardine, the smartest guy in the Discord. We should listen to Dan Jardine more. In fact, Dan Jardine, DM me in the Discord. Start producing the show, because you always have like we call you the grandpa on the program. You should be the producer on the program. He says that my guess that to why Reichel is in the lineup is a potential trade partner has asked to see what Reichel can do at center for a game or two. That could be a thing. And I thought about this during the first segment. Maybe it doesn't make any sense, but maybe Ratu's part of a trade package or something. You just never know why these things happen, right? You never know why like a player's a healthy scratch out of nowhere for Lukas Reichel.
Or maybe San Jose is one of the teams that could be interested in him. Like, you could see that they've been a team to kind of bring in the younger players, and maybe it's a showcase against the team that's going to trade for him. There you go, man. Yeah. If Lukas Reichel scores tomorrow, he's going to San Jose. Kyle, I know that I got to get out of here, okay? Wildcrats can't entertain my kids forever, but one love to you and you for tuning in. Kyle, one love to you, man. Safe travels to Toronto. We'll see if I can record tomorrow. Again, this whole parenting. We'll see if I can get it done. If I do, it'll be after the San Jose Sharks game. If not, catch us soon here on Locked On Canucks. You can help us out by liking and subscribing on YouTube on the podcast side. Go follow us. Leave a 5-star review. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bhawan, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.